Hi folks, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be showing you how to do a complete brake flush service on a Volkswagen or Audi. Now specifically here we are demonstrating it on this 2011 Audi A3, but this car is really essentially the same as a Golf GTI Mark 6. So this is something that should be done every 2 years as part of the scheduled servicing. So let's get into it. So let's just run through what we need to do this job. We are going to need a litre of good quality .4 brake fluid. Then got a syringe to suck the old fluid out of the brake master cylinder. Then we've got our pressure bleeder and waste disposal. And of course we have our European cap to go on top of the master cylinder. We've got an 11mm spanner to release the brake bleeder on each wheel cylinder. And then finally what I've done is I've just grabbed the standard car jack, because we're going to take one wheel off at a time for each wheel that we bleed. And don't forget when you're taking wheels off the car to have a good quality jack stand for safety. So the first thing that we need to do is locate the master cylinder on the vehicle. Now depending on whether your vehicle is right hand drive or left hand drive, it's either going to be here or just in under here, just behind the battery box. Now the easiest way you can tell is it's actually on the same side as the driver. So it's on the driver's side of the vehicle. So my car's a right hand drive, steering wheel's just there, master cylinder's there. If your vehicle's a left-hand drive, it's just going to be on this side there. So having located our master cylinder, the first thing we're going to do is extract the old brake fluid using our syringe. Now, you'll see I've just put an old mat down here on top of the engine, because brake fluid is corrosive, so any spills, we don't want to get that anywhere. So, just need to undo the cap to the master cylinder, like that. And then just put that to one side like that. We're then just going to use our syringe directly into the master cylinder container, just like that, and use that to suck the old fluid out. And we've just got this old waste drink bottle which we'll put that fluid into. So I've just repeated, folks, off camera with the syringe until I've got all of the fluid out of that reservoir. Now, as you can see, we've probably got about 300 mils of fluid here, and that fluid is quite dark in colour. So this vehicle's obviously well overdue to have this replaced. We're going to replace that now. We'll top it up in the master cylinder with fresh fluid, and then we will do the flush. So to fill up the reservoir, I've just grabbed a small funnel so we don't spill any of the brake fluid. And we'll put our new fluid straight in. Now importantly, you can see that I have filled the reservoir completely to the top, and that's because we're going to use our pressure bleeder in the next stage. So with that master cylinder completely full, we now screw our European car fitting on top of the master cylinder. Make sure you do have the rubber O-ring in there, just firm, because we don't want to break that master cylinder. Alright, so now we're going to fill our pressure bleeder up. Now my kit came with this little tool, makes it really easy to undo that filler. So I'll tip the remainder of that first container into the pressure bleeder. And then I'll tip the next container in. And then I'll just do that up there. So now that we've put the fluid in the pressure bleeder, just sit that somewhere secure, and we want to connect the pressure bleeder to the top of this cap, just like that. So what we want to do now is you just want to pump up the pressure bleeder about 9 psi. So with the pressure bleeder pumped up to 9 psi, we just want to check for leaks and check that it's holding pressure, which it is. So then what we're going to do next is we're going to bleed each wheel. We're going to start with the passenger side rear, then we'll go to the driver side rear, and then we will come around to the passenger side front, and finally we'll finish up with the driver side front over the other side. Alright, so we're at the passenger side rear. As you can see, we've got the wheel off and we've got a jack stand in for safety. We just come into the brake caliper, and then in here at the top you can see this is the bleed nipple there, so we just take that rubber cap off like that, and then we can see the bleed nipple there. So we then grab our waste bottle, which came in the kit, and we pop that rubber fitting on top of the nipple like that, and then we undo the bleeder screw using our 11mm spanner. And straight away we can see that dirty fluid is flowing into the bottle. So once the fluid being bled goes clear, we close the bleed valve and move on to the next wheel. Alright, so then the exact same thing for the driver's side rear. We pop that rubber cap off, put our waste bottle on, and then we open that bleed valve with our 11mm spanner. And straight away we can see that fluid starting to run through the right rear there. So we just let that bleed off until we see clear fluid running through it, just like we did the passenger side. And then onto the passenger side front, pop that rubber protector off, get our spanner on, and our waste disposal bottle, and we crack that again. And once again, we just let that bleed off until we see the clear fluid come through. And with clear fluid coming through now, we just tighten that off again, as we did the other wheels. Get that off, put the rubber cap on, and move on to the driver's side. And finally, onto the driver's side front. Same as before, use our 11mm spanner to crack the fitting and bleed until it becomes clear. So with all four wheels bled, we need to release the pressure. First of all, from our pressure bleeder. And then we remove the quick connect fitting, like that. Get that pressure bleeder to one side. Then we want to remove our European adapter. And then use our syringe just to bring that level of the fluid down to the normal operating level. So with that fluid adjusted to the normal operating level, we then put our actual car's cap on, and we're now good to go for a test drive. So folks, we're just going to take the car for a quick drive. As always, when you do work on the vehicle, you really do need to take the car for a test drive, especially in cases where you do brake work, as is the case today. So we'll just turn here onto the road. We'll get the car up to speed, and then what we're going to do is just going to hit the brakes. As you can see there, that pulled up really firmly, so I'll get it up to speed again, and this time I'll hit the brakes even harder. Fantastic. You can see the car's pulling up really firmly and straight as we want it to. So really folks, if you want to keep your brakes in optimum condition, you really do need to flush the brake fluid every 2 years as per the scheduled service item. So there you go folks, there's how to do a complete brake fluid flush on your Volkswagen or Audi. Scheduled service maintenance, it really should be done every 2 years. In the future, you can see many more videos on service and maintenance of the Audi and all my Mercedes in fact. And if you have liked this video, do feel free to like, share and subscribe. Until next time, have a good evening.